So I just had something happen on the road here where somebody cut over last minute to try and get onto one of the on-ramps for the interstate here in Florida. And I mean, this happens a lot. You know, people just do stuff like this. They don't even think about anybody behind them or even look behind them. It's just, hey, the person's behind me, they should see me in front of them. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like a little bit pissed. Not big mad, little mad. And then I say, you know what, back off. I do that a lot nowadays, whereas, you know, back in the day, I probably would have driven up behind them all mad and make sure they see my mad face. And this person, I just said, all right, cool, I'm going to back off, and then I know here in a second, it's going to turn into 2 lanes. Again, just be patient. Turns into 2 lanes, and I could see them getting over into the left lane so they can go on the on-ramp, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm just going to overtake them and be on the right lane. Of course, the person wants to be petty because they feel that they're right. They feel that they didn't do anything wrong, and I honked my horn. I shouldn't have honked my horn at them, signifying that they did something wrong and could have endangered somebody. Myself. Again, that is a biased look at it. But I was like, you know, trying to overtake them, and not even on some like, all right, cool, overtake them and cut them off. Just overtake them, show them my blinker, and then get over. Because I don't want to cause an accident. I don't got the time, and I definitely don't want to use my insurance for that. So, boom, the person doesn't go to the left lane, which is what they were doing. Like, you could see there were half the cars in the other lane. They stay in the right lane, block me from overtaking them, and then I just back off because I already know what's going to happen. And just as I thought, they sped up real fast, kind of like, you know, like I stopped you from doing what you wanted to do, and then I'm speeding off, leaving you, right? And I'm like, all right, cool, I got something for you. So all I did is I cut all the way over to the left, you know, making sure I didn't cut off anyone or anything like that, and then just went about my way. Like, they're driving like a what's it called, a V4 Corolla. I think it's like those Corollas are V4s. And then I'm driving like a regular Explorer, a V6. And I'm like, you know, it's not like we're gonna do a street race here. I already know I could pass you. You just, if you don't do any like stupid stuff where you try to like stay in the lane or block me or something like that. So it got me thinking, because I was like, you know, why am I'm not gonna really, at first I was like, well, for a little bit I was bad. I was like, why would this person do that? Well, like, what's wrong with people, so on and so forth, the usual stuff. And then I thought to myself, and this is the point of the video, what's the point of being mad at certain things that are insignificant, things that are going to pass you by, and things you're going to pass by at high rates of speed? This person had to do that. They had to do that to block me because they know I would have overtaken them. And I have to look at certain situations in my life and I have to say, listen, why am I going to get mad over something insignificant like that? I know I'm going to get past it. I know it's not going to be an issue for me here in another couple weeks, couple months, couple years. You know, while people are still doing what they did in the past and not making any changes to actually make any type of progress in their life, possibly. I'm not talking about this person in Corolla specifically, but I had to look at it from a monetary standpoint. Call me a snob, call me somebody who is an elitist, call me somebody who is turning their nose up at someone. Yes, I had to look at it and I said, listen, there's a difference between you and that person. There's a difference. And the biggest difference is your mindset and the way you look at it. That person in the Corolla could be, if I was in that situation where I had to do that, like cut over the way they did, I know what they had to do because I've had to do it before in that same exact area. The difference is the person behind me, I was respectful of that person because I did not want that person to hit me. If anything, this person maybe have had something to lose, or they didn't care about the consequences of their actions. have to look at myself and say, hey, this problem, is it as big as I think it is? Also, is it worth my time? Not just my money, my time. Because I'm going to have to pay my deductible. I'm going to have to deal with anything in court, deal with higher insurance rates, especially in Florida. It's already high. I don't get really any tickets or anything like that. No points assessed on my license and all that. But driving is a big thing for me, and I don't have two vehicles like I did previously, like a couple months ago. I'm only down back to one. And if I go ahead and do all this other stuff and jeopardize my situation, which is a very fragile one, even though I think I'm at a better position than I was, or even though I am at a better position than I was, and I think my position is maybe even higher than it actually is, it's still a very fragile one, and I have to be realistic about that and understand that. And I think you have to look at certain things and understand that the problems that we perceive, or the issues that we perceive as major problems, major issues, things that are something that we should get mad about, that we should think about, so on and so forth, are not that big. And I'm realizing that more and more. I catch myself a little bit sooner. I caught myself in that situation. I try to handle it with less anger. I backed off when necessary because I did not want to cause an accident. I did not want to hit that person in the back. I did not want to even do, like, in my head, it did cross my mind to, like, all right, cool, I got space on the left, I can just do this, you know? Because I even saw when that person was driving on the on-ramp that they swerved over a little bit to the right, and I'm like, oh, okay, something wrong with this person. I ain't playing this stuff today. That's just not me. So when I see all that and all this stuff, and it's just going to through my head, and I'm like, oh man, this doesn't make any sense. Why would I do this? This is going to cause maybe issues. You have to think about these things. I did a video beforehand talking about assessing your situation and understanding what's going on in front of you and around you, and then saying, hey, listen, separating yourself and looking at the situation from a distance, and maybe that can give you a better view of, you know, the quote-unquote bigger picture. So I say all that to say this. I backed off. I let the person go about their way. I didn't look for some type of victory where later on I got in front of them, I cut them off and all this other stuff and brake checked them. I don't have time, nor do I have money for that. My position is fragile. I can go ahead and screw up my position and what I'm doing and what I've done so far just off of one car accident. And if I get into this car accident, it's bad enough, then a lot of things go down the drain. My earning potential goes down the drain. The amount of time that I have to spend on certain things goes down the drain. You know, like, if you're a person that's making a certain amount an hour, then you have to look at it as like, hey, listen, this is costing me this much per hour on jobs that I could be completing, things that I could be, development work that I could be doing if I'm in the right mindset and decent health. You know, like, looking at these things. And again, I don't know the status of the person in this Corolla. They could actually have more money than me and be richer than me. You know, they could actually be in a better position than I am, and they're just driving a smaller car that is reduced in cost. But at the same time, I don't know what's going on with them, but I do know what's going on with me. And I do know that in that situation, even if they would have caused that accident, somehow, some way, like by, you know, later on down the road doing something, you know, to endanger my life even further, then guess what? I'm still going to have to deal with that. The consequences of not only my actions, but their actions. And I have to ask, is it worth it? And I said, no, it isn't. It wasn't worth it. So I backed off, got all the way to the far left lane like I always do. I always... somebody, Lionel said that in a video, in a comment. He was like, why are you always in the far left lane? I just always get to the far left. I got to the far left, cruised on down the road, and I'm almost near my destination. It's not worth it sometimes. Actually, most times. So, calm down, assess the situation, and move from there. Be safe, and as always, thank you.